Hello, first grade teachers. We here at the Outdoor Learning Center have really missed having our first graders this year. And so we created a virtual visit for you, a virtual field trip for your students. It was made with you in mind, knowing how difficult this year has been for you. So you should just be able to assign it, give it to the kids, and they should be able to take off with it. So we hope that you really enjoy it, and this video will give you a preview of everything that's available, and so you'll know what it's all about. This is the QR code on your the PD agenda that came in your tub, and you can go there on your phone if you want right now and follow along, or you can just use it later, and because I'm going to show you everything that's on the website. So as a quick overview, what is on the website, the virtual part of the first grade field trip is brain breaks, fun facts, wild animal breaks, your teacher guide that's also in your tub, the first grade virtual field trip videos. So when you see a thumbnail, that's going to be a link to the video if you want to watch it, and related seesaw activities that we created in case you want to use those, totally optional. The OLC at Home kit cover sheet that comes in every bag for the kids' OLC at Home kits, and their field guide is also on there. And it's in the cover sheet, in the field guide, and the cloud chart are all translated in Spanish and are available on the website as well. Okay, on this page are links to the Brain Break and Fun Facts page and the Wild Animal Breaks page. And you'll notice as you watch the videos for the field trips that some of the brain breaks and the wild animal breaks are incorporated into those videos for the students, just as a way of giving them a break from what we're learning and what we're doing in the activities. The website Brain Breaks and Fun Facts page is the picture you see on the left, and there are 4 different brain breaks, and then there are 13 different fun facts. The fun facts I did not use in any of the student videos, so if you want to use some of those randomly, they have not seen those in any way, shape, or form. And then on the right you'll see the wild animal breaks. Right now it says it's under construction, but by the time you get this it will be populated with several wild animal breaks. We'll look at a brain break first. So we're going to do an abbreviated version of the Bobcat stretch, and feel free to join in. These stretches are inspired by our bobcat. And then the second part is what we like to see all cats doing. So if you'll stand up and grab the edge of your table, and what you're going to do is step back, keep your hands on your table, step back, and then stretch backwards and stretch out those shoulders. I have found that this really feels good after sitting in front of a computer for a while. So stretch and hold it for at least a count of 10. Stand back up and do this 3, 4, 5 times. It just feels so good. Okay, that was a glimpse of a brain break. Now let's look at a wild animal break. This wild animal is most active when the sun is coming up and when the sun is going down. They're related to our dogs that we have as pets, but these are not meant to be pets. This animal is a coyote. So wild animal breaks and brain breaks on the website. Next on the website is the teacher guide. Along with your agenda, you received this teacher guide. It includes the topic, the TEKS, concepts, vocabulary that we use, the activities, and a list of related books for the children to read, with whether they're available through the Irving ISD or the City of Irving libraries. All right, this is on the web page is what it looks like when you're looking at the station videos. So this window thumbnail is a link to the station video. The kids in their field guides will have a QR code or a link to type in if they don't have a QR reader in order to go to the YouTube video. So there's also the seesaw activity. So I'm about to show you, I've shortened one of the stations quite a bit to give you an idea of what they're going to be seeing when they do one of the stations. And then I will also show you one of the seesaw activities. Welcome to the first grade weather and wind station at the Elise Walker Outdoor Learning Center. In this station, we are going to use our cloud charts. Then we're going to look at some very interesting weather days here at the Outdoor Learning Center and fill out our own today's weather chart. And then we're going to talk about wind. So I'm really glad you're with me today. Let's get started. Say hello to our friend, Squirmy the Worm. He's going to join us today. These are the things you're going to need from your OLC at home bag. The spiral paper, your field guide, your cloud chart, and the yarn. You're also going to need some scissors and some crayons for later. The first thing we're going to use is our cloud chart. This is Miss Alicia using the cloud chart. She's going to hold it up to the sky and look through the hole and decide which clouds she's seeing inside the square. Here's what it will look like for you. So you take your cloud chart and hold it up to the sky, look through the center square at the clouds that are in there, and then you're going to look at all the clouds on the outside edge and decide which one matches. And we've decided that this one is the one that goes, the cumulus clouds. So let's practice with this one. Here's a picture. Here's a picture of some clouds, and here's our cloud chart. What do you think? I decided on this one. You can look outside and see how you do. Pause the video while you look out your window or go outside to use your cloud chart. Good job. Now it's time for a wild animal break. This is an animal that lives at the OLC. He's very slow unless he's in water where he's very fast. The biggest thing that tells you what he is that tail. Do you see how broad and flat that tail is? Do you know what this animal is? He's much more comfortable in water than he is outside of the water. And here's his friend. Can you see that tail? What kind of animal is this? It's a beaver. Yes, beavers live at the Outdoor Learning Center. And now it's time to use our field guide. So get the field guide, turn it to page 9, and page 9 looks like this. Okay, so let's take our field guides and open it to page 9. You'll see that the page numbers are on the bottom of the page. So open it up and crease it open so you can write on the page. Grab your crayon or a pencil and let's get ready to write. Before I have you write on your own today's weather page, let's do some practice ones together. So we're going to look at this day at the OLC. You can see the color of the clouds. You can see how the wildlife was acting. Maybe you can hear what was happening. And we're going to go over this together. So we have to first decide if it's cold or hot. Well, let's look at the thermometer. It's stopping at about 65 degrees. The kids are jumping up and down in their raincoats, so they're able to play outside. So I'm going to say that it wasn't cold and it wasn't really hot. I'm going to put an X right in the middle of my today's weather chart. Then we have to decide, well, it's definitely raining and the cardinal's taking advantage of it and taking a bath. So it's very rainy out today, so I'm going to put an X by rainy. And that's how you do your today's weather chart. So let's try another one. Is it rainy or is it icy or snowy? It is very snowy today, so that's what we're going to choose. Now you're going to, wait a minute, there's Squirmy. He's sledding. He's having a good time in this snow. And now it's your turn to mark on your page. You need to go outside or look out your window and write on your paper about what you think about today's weather. Pause the video now until you're finished with your today's weather chart, and then we're going to take a stretch. This stretch is inspired by our big black willow tree that we call Grandmother Willow. It stretches up to the sky, so what I'm going to ask you to do is put your hands over your head and stretch as high as you can, even get on your toes. Really stretch. Now let's sit down and get ready for air and wind. Air is all around us and is very important to living things. Animals, like us, need to breathe it in and out because our bodies use it. Plants also need air so they can grow and so they can make their food. You know what we call air when it moves? We call it wind. So wind is moving air. Good job. Now it's time for a wild animal break. This wild animal lives down by the creek and depends on the air to get from one place to another because he has wings. What is this animal? Let's watch him for a little bit. He can turn his head almost all the way around. He can look over one shoulder very far and then look over the other shoulder almost all the way around. And then he's going to fly away. What is this animal? It's a screech owl. We love our wild animals. And now we're going to make the spiral spinner. You'll need your spiral page, your yarn, some scissors, and some crayons. So fill in all the way to the center with words that you can spell. All right, let's finish this up. And now that we're done, we're going to flip it over and we're going to use our crayons and draw a picture. You can draw a nature picture or any other type of picture of things you like to draw. Okay, we'll finish up coloring, and then when we're done, we're going to get our scissors. We're going to turn the page over, and we're going to cut the top and the bottom of the paper and cut along the spiral until you get to the end of that line. Pause now until you're finished. Okay, we finished cutting up, get to that last part of our line, and we're done with the cutting. Now we've got to poke a hole through the blue circle. But you'll need to poke something through there to make a hole. And then get the yarn from your OLC at Home kit. And now I think we're ready to take it outside and try it. Miss Alicia is demonstrating it for us, and she'll show you how you can make it move if there is no wind. I was so glad to have you with me for the weather and wind station. And I'm going to sign off on a day that is cold and cloudy, calm, and no rain or snow yet. See you next time. You are welcome to watch the whole station. Just use the link on the website. This is the seesaw activity that goes with the weather and wind station. And the kids will see 3 different days at the OLC and move the arrows on each little strip to give the relative weather for the day. Is it colder? Between cold and hot, where is it? Between windy and calm, between clear and cloudy. So the first one is a windy day, the second one is like the perfect day at the OLC, and the third one is during snow. Now on to what's available to the students. It's also available to you on the website. Each student will receive an OLC at Home kit. The cover sheet is pictured here. It shows what goes with which station and what should be in the kit. The back of this page has a list of books for the students and at which libraries they can be found, whether it's an Irving ISD library or the City of Irving library. And there are also some video addresses in case they want to learn more about the flipbook animal they got. Each of your students will get a flipbook for the Interdependence Station. And if they're interested, these are websites where they can find out more about their animal. The field guide that's in the kit includes all of the station papers that they're going to need to use, except for the cloud chart and the spiral spinner that go with the weather and wind station. Those are made of cardstock, so they're just loose in the bag. On the front of each of their field guides, there's a QR code. So if they have a question for me, they can either scan this code or go to the website listed and fill out a Google form and ask me the question, and I'll answer their question. Now, if students don't have a QR code, they can either go to this one that I've given them as a link to get a QR reader, or for every station, not only is there a QR code, there's also a web address listed that they can just type in and go to YouTube and see the video. Each of you received your own OLC at Home kit, and so you'll notice in your field guide, these are all of the pages. And maybe one of the first things you noticed was the color coding. So you'll see blue triangles or green circles or something on some of the pages. That means those pages go together, and the kids will know for sure they have the right pages. Now, on the ones that have cutouts, the little cutout pieces also have those shapes on them so that they can easily classify those shapes or those pictures again and use them again for their field guide page. Now, there are things they're going to be cutting out, and they can keep those loose things back in their OLC at Home bag so that they don't get lost. So there are some other things in the OLC at Home kit that aren't just paperwork. So those extra things should be a rock to make a pet rock, the flip book, the spiral spinner and the cloud chart, a bag of sandpaper, and a bag of a cup, soil, and seeds to plant a seed and hopefully grow their own flower. After your students have finished doing the OLC at Home field trip, if you would please fill out the teacher survey, because there will be a drawing of 3 names of all the people that have filled it out, and they'll get some OLC honey made by our very own bees. And if you happen to be able to be with your kids when they're doing the field trip, if you would please take photos and send them to us, because we would love to see the kids enjoying their field trip. If you have any questions, please contact me.